Braka braka. Hope all is well. As promised, we're going to show you the real deal. Many of y'all seen Transformers, the newest one. Well, it ain't so new now, but they told you a lot. Take a look at the screen, you can see a couple of their faces. That's what's really going down. We're fighting liquid metals in the atmospheric, which seems they are visible. They're not invisible. You can clearly see them when you're aligned with the right divine mind. Welcome. I'm BC the Tishvite, BC the Ivet Group, and y'all about to get into some real exclusives. So I hope you all enjoy. Braka.
Comprehensively document, describe, and demystify the specific hallucinatory effect known as autonomous entities. This will be in accordance with the pre-established documentation laid out within our comprehensive subjective effect index, and will be done without resorting to metaphors, analogies, or personal trip reports. To give you a better sense of the experience, I've also done my best to accompany each aspect of these descriptions with as many relevant examples of pre-existing replications and comprehensively document, describe, and demystify the specific hallucinatory effect known as autonomous entities. This will be in accordance with the pre-established documentation laid out within our comprehensive subjective effect index, and will be done without resorting to metaphors, analogies, or personal trip reports. To give you a better sense of the experience, I've also done my best to accompany each aspect of these descriptions with as many relevant examples of pre-existing replications and visionary artwork from across the internet as possible. So as for the effect itself, an autonomous entity can be defined as the experience of perceived contact with a hallucinatory being that appears to be sentient and autonomous in its behavior. This experience has a somewhat exalted reputation within the psychonaut community, and to a lesser extent, mainstream culture in general. It is often surrounded by notions of esoteric mysticism, or anecdotal assertions which clearly fall outside of standard scientific materialism. And while most famously associated with dimethyltryptamine, it is a relatively common experience at heavy dosages of a wide variety of psychedelic compounds, particularly those which are more prone to inducing hallucinatory states, such as ayahuasca, psilocybin, and mescaline. Now, in terms of their appearance and general presentation, autonomous entities and internal hallucinations in general are usually comprised from condensed psychedelic geometry. This is in a manner which can give them an incredibly complex, incomprehensible, and otherworldly aesthetic that is clearly demonstrated within the countless examples of visionary artwork shown here within this video. But as for the specific forms in which they present themselves, while they can include literally anything, certain archetypes are definitely present and commonly include humans, alien.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. Reset. We'll skip a little bit. How many of people, like we said before, on a hot summer day, looked all the way down the road, or you could have been traveling, and all of a sudden,
astronauts in the
you start seeing some black liquid, I don't know what to call it, they're like liquid blackness in front of you, but closer you get, the further it goes away. That's you seeing the real destination of these portals. Real Earth. Yeah. Sorry about the little hiccup there. Baraka, Malik Golf, Junie Paul, KG Brown, Angel Rolling, War Ready. As we get ready, heavy steady. You see how long this thing taking just to load? That's them. It's not a signal. I'm on Wi-Fi. They just being a nuisance because we showing the real them. Entities don't want you to see the real them, man. For real. Y'all think I'm laughing. I mean, joking and stuff. I'm not joking. I'm for real, but I'm laughing because
has a somewhat
I'm going through it.
Reputation within the psychonauts community, and to a lesser extent, mainstream culture in general. It is often surrounded by notions of esoteric mysticism or anecdotal assertions which clearly fall outside of standard scientific materialism. And while most famously associated with dimethyltryptamine, it is a relatively common experience at heavy dosages of a wide variety of psychedelic compounds.
Well, they bugging.
Particularly those which are more prone to inducing hallucinatory states.
Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get this right.
Such as ayahuasca, psilocybin, and mescaline. Now, in terms of their appearance and general presentation, autonomous entities and internal hallucinations in general are usually comprised from condensed psychedelic geometry. This is in a manner which can give them an incredibly complex, incomprehensible, and otherworldly aesthetic that is clearly demonstrated within the countless examples of visionary artwork shown here within this video. But as for the specific forms in which they present themselves, while they can include literally anything, certain archetypes are definitely present and commonly include humans, aliens, elves, animals, giant spheres, insectoids, beings of light, plants, cartoons, robotic machines, gods and demigods, biomechanical intelligences, anthropomorphic beings, jesters, demons, indescribable monstrosities, spirits, angels, shamans, fantastical or mythological beasts, abstract geometric forms, and many, many more.
Drinking coffee every day didn't work for me, but I couldn't figure out why until I went from 184 to 123. I was doing everything right. I just needed a little tweak to one thing. So this is the simple method that has helped me drop close to 61 pounds since September. I kept it to myself for a while to see if it worked. But when I started losing up to 11 pounds week after week, it caused a stir among my family and friends. People ask me, how did you lose so much weight? And here's what I tell them. This is how I peed out fat in just weeks. This special coffee loophole took me from 184 to 123 in no time. Let me explain. You've probably heard that once you have kids, your body will never be the same. You'll have to accept the extra flab around your waist and arms, the muffin top that spills over your jeans, and the saggy skin that hangs from your belly. But what if I told you that's not true at all? What if I told you that there is a special coffee loophole that can help melt away the stubborn fat in weeks without starving yourself or spending hours at the gym? Sounds too good to be true, right? That's what I thought too, until I met my old college roommate. She looked amazing. She had 4 kids, but she was as slim and fit as she was in her 20s. I asked her what her secret was, and she told me about this coffee loophole that changed her life. She said it was a simple coffee drink that she made every morning, using ingredients that she found at her local grocery store. She said it electrified her metabolism back to teenage levels and flushed out the toxins from her body. She said it was so easy to do, and it only took 10 seconds a day. She said she went from 174 to 118 in weeks and kept it off for good. I was skeptical, but I decided to give it a try. And boy, am I glad I did. Within weeks, I went from 184 to 123 just like that. I couldn't believe it. I felt like a new person. I could fit into my old jeans and dresses again. I had more energy and confidence than ever before. And the best part is everything I ate was melting right off. But don't take my word for it. My sister Emily tried it too, and she had even better results. She was sad after her husband divorced her because he said she got too big and tubby. But thanks to this coffee loophole, she went from 169 to 118 in weeks. Now she's dating a handsome guy who works in finance, and he treats her like a queen. She's happier than ever, and you can be too. If you want to discover this special coffee loophole that can help lose unwanted flab, tap the Watch Now button below and watch this short video that shows you everything you need to know. But hurry, this video won't be up for long. The weight loss industry doesn't want you to know about this loophole because it will put them out of business. So watch it now before it's too late. Trust me, you won't regret it. This coffee loophole is the best thing that ever happened to me and Emily, and it can be for you too. Tap the Watch Now button below and get ready to transform your body and your life.
Knock, knock. Hi there. I'd love to show you what a K-12 powered school is really like. Step inside. Here, you can dive into subjects you love, move as fast or as slow as you need to, and let your learning soar. Cool. You'll connect with teachers and classmates, explore your interests, and learn great skills for the future. Hey, know what else is knocking? Opportunity. Discover yours. Now enrolling.
During their apparition, autonomous entities will frequently be presented as the inhabitants of a perceived independent reality, which is often subjectively interpreted as a different dimension or plane of existence. These inhabited hallucinatory realms can include anything, but common archetypes often include cities, temples, ruins, circuses, caverns, natural landscapes, and abstract geometric structures. And while they most commonly appear alone within these spaces, they can also often be within small or large groups alongside of other entities, which may take similar or completely different physical forms of their own. Now, as for their response to the tripper, some entities do not seem to be aware of a person's presence, but many others are often precognizant of a person's appearance into their supposed realm, and usually choose to interact with them in various ways. For example, they will often display behaviors such as showing a person around the realm that they inhabit, presenting them with objects, holding spontaneous celebrations of their arrival, merging into and out of the person's body or consciousness, engaging them in conversation, and attempting to impart knowledge of various kinds. Overall, the general appearance, personality, and behavior of an autonomous entity often correlates with the psychological state of the person experiencing it. For example, a person with a positive mindset will more commonly experience loving, kind, and healing entities. But in contrast, a person with a negative mindset may be more likely to experience hateful, sinister, and mocking entities. It's also worth noting that when experienced within the specific context of psychedelic compounds, autonomous entities are much more likely to manifest within internal hallucinations during high-level states, rather than within external hallucinations. This means that entity encounters primarily occur within an imagined environment that can typically only be viewed with closed eyes, similar to those found within dreams. So although psychedelic entities can sometimes still present themselves as seamlessly appearing within one's external environment as if they were physically present, for the majority of people it is generally a much rarer occurrence. Now, in terms of their overall visibility, presence, and clarity, entities can manifest themselves across 3 approximate levels of increasing intensity. Level 1, vaguely defined presence. At the lowest level, Autonomous entities generally consist of poorly defined outlines and abstract shapes that are barely distinguishable from the background behind them and the geometry which they are comprised of. However, these encounters are still often accompanied by a distinct feeling of a sensed presence of another conscious being. Level 2. Partially defined presence. At this level, autonomous entities become distinctly visible within one's visual field, but are not fully defined in their appearance or entirely separated from their background. At this point, it also becomes more common to feel a sense of general intent and personality attributed to the entity. Level 3. Fully defined presence. At this level, the autonomous entities become distinct enough in their detail and vividness to extend beyond transparent or poorly defined manifestations. They are now capable of a completely convincing and photorealistic appearance, and their general behavior also becomes far more detailed and lifelike. Communication styles. Autonomous entities can communicate with a person through a wide range of different methods and styles. These styles can include any combination of standard spoken word, telepathy, conceptual thoughts, choreographed movements, mathematics, and even geometry-based visual linguistics that generally consist of complex morphing structures that are immediately interpreted as innately understandable representations of specific concepts. As for the content of their messages, entities will commonly provide insights regarding overcoming personal issues within a person's life and will occasionally help clarify philosophical or spiritual ideas. In contrast, however, they are equally likely to speak in a cryptic or nonsensical manner that seems to have no clear meaning behind it. It's also important to note that autonomous entities can seemingly never convey truly novel information to the person experiencing them. For example, they cannot provide insights about the external world that a person did not already know on some level. Instead, they can only provide alternative perspectives and help build upon pre-existing ideas. This is presumably because autonomous entities do not have access to any knowledge not already contained within the tripper's conscious or subconscious memories. Personality types. As far as I can tell, at least, autonomous entities will often embody at least one of a few approximate personality types that I have done my best at attempting to categorize. Although there is admittedly considerable overlap between them, these personality types can sometimes be identified primarily through a combination of their behavior, their appearance, and an innate sense of their character that is often felt during the interaction. These individual types are broken down and described within the following 4 approximate categories. Representations of characters. This personality type can be described as a seemingly sentient representation of any hallucinatory character that the brain has either spontaneously generated during the trip or was already aware of at a prior time. These entities can include newly hallucinated characters of any sort, people that the person has met in real life, people that the person is aware of as existing in the real world, or characters from fictional media. These entities will usually adopt an appropriate personality and set of mannerisms to fit the chosen character concept with an impressive degree of detail. An example of this might be meeting an insectoid mantis-like creature that is playing the role of a shamanic teacher and acting accordingly. Another might include meeting the hallucination of a deceased loved one or a currently living family friend.
Exactly, Loish. Breaking through the matrix, you can see it. It'd be all different types of geometric shapes or
concepts.
Tunnel vision circles.
This personality type can be described as
well, they ready to give us some pills or medicine or something. We crazy.
Concept or idea. These specific concepts include personified representations of abstract ideas, events, and emotions. An example of this might be meeting a mocking jester that feels and acts as if it represents one's own insecurities. Another might include meeting a clockwork being that feels as if it represents entropy and the inevitable passing of time. Representations of the subconscious. This personality type can take any form, but is subjectively interpreted as the autonomous controller behind the continuous generation of the details of the person's current experience. This entity is also often felt to simultaneously control one's current perspective, personality, and internally stored model of reality. When interacted with, this category of entity can often possess abilities that allow them to directly alter and manipulate one's current experiences. In terms of their motives, they commonly want to teach or guide the person and will seemingly operate under the assumption that they know what is best for them. However, although a relatively common experience, it still cannot be known whether this type of autonomous entity is genuinely an experience of directly communicating with the so-called subconscious mind, and what that would even mean if it were the case, or if it's perhaps merely a hallucinatory approximation that simply behaves in a convincing manner. Representations of the self. This personality is described as a direct copy of one's own personality. It can take any visible form, but when conversed, it clearly adopts an identical vocabulary and set of parameters to one's own consciousness.
Kathy,
this entity will often take on a similar appearance to oneself, but could theoretically take on any other appearance too. During this experience,
Indiana
there is
in the
also a
house.
distinct feeling that one's own consciousness is somehow being mirrored and duplicated into the hallucinated autonomous entity that is being interacted with.
Braka, Kevin Marlowe, Grand Rising.
Okay, so to wrap this video up, and at risk of alienating a certain subsection of my audience, I would just like to make a few points regarding the beliefs which commonly surround psychedelic entities and my personal opinion on those viewpoints. So within the psychonaut community and DMT users in particular, autonomous entities are commonly viewed as one of the most captivating aspects of the psychedelic experience. They are often shrouded in esoteric mystery, to the point that a significant portion of the people who encounter them will go as far as asserting that these experiences are not simply fabrications of the mind, but rather beings from another world that exists independently of the human brain. This is a viewpoint that was originally popularized in mainstream culture by the likes of Terence McKenna, who famously theorized that the machine elves he encountered under the influence of DMT were either extraterrestrial in nature, interdimensional beings from a higher plane of existence, time-traveling humans from the future, or an arcology of souls that apparently includes both our ancestors and those who are to be born. As far as I can tell, the most common reasonings behind this viewpoint are that the experience of encountering these entities is often interpreted as feeling more realistic and well-defined than that of any sober experience the person has ever had. Alongside this, there is often a sense that the encounter itself is so incomprehensibly complex and otherworldly that there is simply no possible way that the human brain could generate such an experience on its own. In regards to this particular notion, it is then sometimes asserted that consciousness must be an antenna of sorts that receives either all or some of its subjective experiences from that of an unknown interdimensional.
Eyes in and out. That's some of y'all angels, ain't it? Well, all angels have them. Demons is angels. Principalities is what you call angels. All of them. Angles of light of eyes or nebulas recording data telling on you. The accusers.
Source. Furthermore, the source of this received input is sometimes said to be adjustable depending on the person's brain state, with substances such as psychedelics simply tuning our consciousness into the analogous equivalent of a different radio station or TV channel. This is an idea that was once again further popularized by Terence McKenna, who was famously quoted as saying, I don't believe consciousness is generated in the brain any more than television programs are made inside my TV. The box is too small. Now, while I can personally empathize with the reasons that some people may be drawn into these conclusions after the often earth-shattering experience of a DMT trip or of a high-level psychedelic experience, I do not personally believe that autonomous entities are anything more than the profound but ultimately hallucinated products of the subconscious mind. Instead, I am quite sure that they are simply the psychedelic equivalent of the various characters and beings that most people commonly encounter within their dreams. Although it could be argued that autonomous entities are too characteristically different from that of dream characters to possibly be a result of the same neurological processes, I think that these differences in their appearance and behavior are largely the result of the many other psychedelic effects that are simultaneously occurring during these encounters. The most notable of which is geometry, which causes the hallucination to be comprised of the otherworldly shapes and patterns that provide autonomous entities with their distinctly hyperspatial aesthetic. Alongside of this, various other subjective effects such as synesthesia, machinescapes, recursion, time distortion, and transpersonal states can all potentially synergize into an experience that is easy to misinterpret as something occurring outside of the human mind. In my personal opinion, if autonomous entities were truly something that exists beyond the human mind, I think there would likely be at least a single verifiable case of them conveying information to a person that they did not already know or could not have come to the conclusion of within that moment. This would also likely be testable to some degree, which has led myself and my close friends to casually experiment with asking DMT entities a variety of questions over the years. These questions have included math problems, metaphysical questions, philosophical questions, and queries pertaining to their general nature as beings inhabiting their particular world. However, each attempt at doing so has resulted in entities simply ignoring the question, arrogantly scoffing at the absurdity of us asking them such a trivial thing, or replying with vague, ambiguous wording that the person's own mind could have easily come up with. This has even been the case when the entities are presenting themselves as vastly more complex, knowledgeable, and powerful than the humans that they are interacting with. Now, just to clarify, while I do believe that autonomous entities are a result of a similar process to that of dream characters, I also don't want to be reductive and downplay the often overwhelmingly profound nature of this experience. For example, within the moments that entities are presenting themselves, I believe that to varying degrees, they are genuinely conscious agents that the brain is simulating alongside our own. It does not seem unreasonable to me that if the brain can simulate one conscious agent during everyday sobriety, that in certain extenuating circumstances, such as mental illnesses, dream states, and hallucinogenic experiences, it could also temporarily allocate resources into simultaneously simulating other conscious agents. I also think it's sort of interesting to consider.
Now, the Egyptians and the Kemets, what we call Neuralink today, they were uploading consciousness into the space, as we said by the Holy Spirit before.
What does it mean to you when an entity who you've just met, who you hardly understand, who is almost analyzing and studying you, is saying, worship me? That's a task, that's an instruction or a command. Worship me. What does that mean to you?
Really? I tell y'all, it's a fight to show y'all things. That is the truth. It's called persecution. No reason why none of this should be happening. Yet, these things we're talking about form into a plasmic metaphysical state, and they can shape shift into anything. When we talking about stuff going haywire, nah, no such thing. Unless that thing had a mind of its own, which we know it doesn't. So the device can't go haywire. That is the actual accusers and opposite polarities of what we fight. And if you could open up your mind's eye with the Holy Spirit not with psychedelic drugs or anything like that, just being tuned, you can see this. I'm saying, like, people, when I was on the other side, they was saying how they see this in the sky. I do too. But I didn't know it was that. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was told that, you know, I'm seeing atoms and molecules and you need to take this pill because you're going crazy. Stuff like that. That's how it was presented to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't supposed to see this stuff. But come to find out, that was the Most High the whole time opening up my state of consciousness to receive the information that most ain't gonna be able to. All right, I'm gonna hit this one more time. Most ain't gonna be able to endure it. Let's go over here in the comments and see what's popping over here. So, as you can see, these things don't want you to really know what and who they are, and they definitely not your friend. They're not fighting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna get that out your mind. But it is good to see and get a more understanding of what it is you really are facing. So now when you pray, you know what to pray for. So you don't be looking crazy out here. Faith Stole, you're going to have to break down what exactly you talking about so I don't see that wrong. Blocker Daytoven, what's good with you? We're going to have to teach some new people here to express themselves where we can all understand. You know what I'm saying? I see you laughing. Yeah. They got to encrypt themselves so I don't take it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at the words. I'm like, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll see how it go down.
What does it mean to you when an entity...
Something strange is happening in modern-day Egypt that appears to have roots dating back to the 13th century BC, and it is terrifying authorities. Over the past decade, the governments of North Africa and the Middle East have been battling the illegal distribution of an anomalous substance nicknamed the blue elephant, a plant-based anomaly that reportedly allows users to generate an extra-dimensional gateway from within the brain itself. Similar to the blue lotus, a flower Pharaoh Akhenaten allegedly smoked to become aware of parallel realities, Egyptian authorities in the 21st century have classified its modern-day variant as a type of dimethyltryptamine, or DMT for short, a substance that they have a 75% mortality rate. A Cairo-based scientific investigation conducted in 2019 details several case studies where users reported that upon swallowing the plant, they were instantly transported to a realm that felt more real than their own, had physics completely different from our own, and was home to a number of intelligent humanoid entities. What are these creatures? Friend or foe? Heavenly angels or malicious spirits? And did the ancient Egyptians know something about the nature of reality that deserves to be kept hidden from modern minds? My name is Omar, and in this episode we will begin examining the research into this deadly anomaly and the truth of the creatures allegedly encountered because of it. In January 2019, security services launched an investigation into the mysterious passing of a 6-year-old Egyptian girl named Camelia. Unfortunately, what at first appeared to be just another tragic story of a child accidentally swallowing her parents' medicine turned out to be part of a wider problem concerning a pill nicknamed the Blue Elephant. Her mother, reportedly a chemist, was arrested and charged while the health authorities began a nationwide crackdown on the distribution of this substance, a substance that has grown in popularity due to the reports of its ability to allow users to access parallel dimensions. But this is not a new practice in this country. During the reign of Pharaoh Akhenaten, it is believed that the recreational habits of the ancient Egyptians included the use of the blue lotus flower. This plant is found in lakes across East Africa, and it is believed by some to enable its users to become aware of parallel timelines and higher spatial dimensions via its psychotropic ingredients. Today, there are many hieroglyphs that show the importance of this flower in Egyptian culture, including one of Akhenaten holding up the lotus. Although scientists say that its psychotropic effects vary considerably from similar plants, in that it induces lucid dreaming instead of creating vivid hallucinations, the blue lotus is still viewed as a type of DMT. Becoming famous in 2014 after the box office success of the Egyptian psychological horror film The Blue Elephant and its 2019 sequel, many young adults wanted to know if it was real and does it pose a genuine threat, be it psychological or supernatural. Unlike the claims made famous by Western celebrities such as Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson concerning DMT, Egyptian health officials state that at high doses, its blue elephant variant can cause addiction, violent seizures, comas, and even heart attacks. What about its supernatural threats and its alleged ability to allow humans to access higher dimensional spaces?
So DMT is an extremely powerful hallucinogenic drug found naturally within the human body, as well as in mammals and plants and nature generally. It's notorious for producing entity experiences for those who take the drug. What does this mean? Simply, it means people who take the drug often, if they take high doses, report seeing beings that exist in another world or exist in this world, but they are not usually able to perceive them, but when they take the drug, they're now able to hear them and interact with them and see them. They report entering a tunnel or something called hyperspace. So they'll enter this hyperspace tunnel and they'll see impossible 4D geometry. Some say this is sacred geometry. The space is usually or almost always inhabited by a or many entities. So there's usually one or there's plural entities, and these entities interact with the subjects in many various ways. And each interaction, again, it varies from person to person, and the nature of the entity is also different. These experiences were real, i.e. people felt like they were real. People felt like these experiences were more real than real. They existed in some real but different dimension of reality and continue to exist after the encounter. They received messages or predictions about the future, and those who identified as being atheists, at least over half, I didn't identify as atheist anymore, i.e. they believed that there was some sort of high power out there, and it was the most meaningful experience that most people had experienced.
Some theorized that this location could simply be our
Kill the iPhone, you say? Few companies have the guts to kill an iconic, admired, refined, brilliantly conceived, historically significant, multi-billion-dollar business on purpose. Take Sears, for example. In 2005, Sears could have killed its brick-and-mortar stores on purpose, moved its products online.
Could simply be our current 3D reality in its truest
Pause.
form. Others.
See, As above, so below. And the space in between is the nakedness of the reflection of evil. That's how you avert your reality. The reality is up above and beyond the land that you see. See, this is all illusion. All right? Heaven and earth is all in the mind of the Lord, who knows the mind of God. And when we get that secret and we understand that understanding, you leave these realms and you are the source. Remember, when you look up, there's ground here. And the ground of heaven is where the foot of God is at. So right here in this space, what they call outer space, we only got 3 fingerfuls of a distance between our air and heaven. That is not a wide space. It looks big to us. Well, no, it's not that big. It really isn't. So I want you to think about that as you look at the diagram. If what's above us can only mimic what we found dated of, then how can it exist? A liar will not cherish in God's sight. But 2 big dummy gods and goddesses can make a lie look like a truth.
And the 4th dimension, which string theory calls time. Within Islam, some have theorized that this place could be a vast pocket dimension called Barzakh, a space between spaces, where the souls of both deceased humans and jinn wait for the day of judgment. What this spiritual realm looks like is open to debate. It could be anything from an exact copy of our current world and society to something completely alien and beyond human comprehension. Similar in appearance to what has been testified by DMT users across the world. Either way, it can still be considered as a higher dimensional reality. So before we delve into the 2019 Egyptian case studies concerning individuals who believe that they have traveled there, let's first define exactly what we mean by the term higher dimensional reality using M, theory and quantum mechanics.
Our current understanding of reality recognizes that the human race lives in a 3-dimensional world that is defined as forward and backwards, up and down, on an XY scale. The word dimension literally refers to a scale of measurement. With our 3-dimensional world, or 3D, governed by a 4th dimension called time, quantum mechanics posits that there could be up to 11 or more different types of dimensions. So our question is, what if each dimension could be home to a specific class of life, such as jinn? With that question in mind, what would a lower 2-dimensional world and its theoretical life forms look like to us using M theory? Simple. Just look at a photograph. Beings with 3D capacity, like us humans, would be able to view a flat 2D world such as a photograph or a TV screen with ease. But beings from a 2D world would be unable to see what our 3D world really looks like, essentially making us partially invisible to them. This law of visibility applies to every dimension. No matter what dimension a being is in, they can only see the dimensions below, and only partially the next dimension above. Therefore, since humans are only 3-dimensional beings, we cannot physically see the 4th dimension, which is time. However, a 4D being would be able to view our 3D world and our timeline in its entirety from beginning to end, from the creation of the universe until the end of time. Moving up a step, a higher 5th dimensional being will not only be able to see our complete timeline like a 4th dimensional being, but they can also see all possible timelines across a multiverse of timelines. A 6th dimensional being would be able to see beyond that, and a 7th beyond that, and so on and so forth. So what dimension could the jinn be in? Now, since jinn are somewhat limited by the progress of time, much like us humans, then we can guess that they exist somewhere between the 3rd and the 4th dimension. The Holy Quran portrays jinns as occupants of a parallel world of spirits. So using in theory, we can say that they are in essence higher dimensional creatures, compared to us, that they have the ability to observe our 3D world while remaining invisible to us. The Holy Quran states, "Lo, he, the devilish Iblis, sees you, he and his tribe, from whence you see him not."
Throughout 2019, the Egyptian media began reporting on the experiences user claimed to have.
Astronauts in the P90X sky did this to rebuild their muscles.
So I know a lot of you have heard of an organization known as NASA, right? The men and women that go in outer space, the precision of what they do, it's just amazing. Did you also know that when
user claimed to have had with the blue elephant pill. In one study, after about 10 seconds of ingesting it, a man described being transported to another world where his current reality dissolved into what he described as intertwined threads. Here he encountered several intelligent anomalous entities, such as brightly colored peacocks with 4 eyes and 4 arms, and beings who took the form of long-gone historical figures. A second case study detailed the account of a girl who said that the moment she ingested the anomaly, her environment literally began to peel away like paper from a wall, revealing another world underneath. Here she encountered one of the Jinn Kings, an extremely powerful class of Jinn that rules over countless communities of Jinn. During this event, the subject experienced mild time dilation, where she claimed that she remained in conversation with this entity for nearly an hour, despite only being under the influence for several minutes. Critics and cynics of the use of DMT or the supernatural experiences associated with it can be categorized into 3 camps. The first believe that the anomalous effects users report are entirely psychological. They are only hallucinations generated by the mind, devoid of any real paranormal component. The second camp, while believing that the supernatural component is real, the entities users claim to.
That's right, Kevin Marlowe. On a Blake spheroid and angle will land in its fixed location makes me think about where prayers go when directed to the sky. Very good.
Encounter are for the most part malevolent Jinn. These Jinn may pretend to be friendly, but their ultimate goal is to trick humans into worshipping them. The third camp, while also believing in supernatural, does not believe that
Mother, spirit, power, air, knowledge, machine, elves, or Allah, Yahweh, however you want to put it. But guardian angels manipulate to demons, or just the subconscious manifestation? Y'all see that, right? All right, I tell you, different verbalization, same expression.
that it can provide access to a dimension where the jinn exists. It only allows us to view our current 3D reality in its full natural form. For example, Mufti Abu Layth, a controversial liberal Islamic scholar,
the dude showed the jinns right here.
Eastern history.
He a Muslim, and he in the spirit. Ain't no different than me, crying out for Christ in the spirit. And he can show you the jinns. I got mad videos with this guy right here. Mad people was like, yo, this the only guy I know that's a Christian or a Christ follower talk about the jinn. Hell yeah, we get it in. Reptile. It all depends on what the Holy Spirit tell me to speak about, you know. And so the guy said, hey man, let me know when you talk some more about reptilians. I said, yes sir, I will. I think I did like 1 or 2, but I don't never just like think this for myself. Like I just wake up with the wisdom, and I just go on, and then that's how we do every day, all day. The Holy Spirit be guiding me. So if you want me to speak on something, then you got to go to the Great Mother and the Holy Father and be like, yo, man, Buzzes and BCE and them talk about it. Now, you'll get that faster than coming to me, talking to me and telling me and asking me to do something. It's best you go to the source. The source is what control me. Feel me?
Believes that the substance should be classified as halal, meaning permissible under Islamic law, since it is both a naturally occurring substance with qualities, nor does it compromise brain function like alcohol, for example. In fact, because it seemingly sharpens and expands the mind, allowing the user to see way beyond their normal visual range, it can help facilitate a better understanding of God and the nature of his reality. Although he does stop short of saying that this could also be a means to communicate with the jinn, implying that this may not even be possible, he does mention that Islamic intellectuals from the medieval period and earlier, such as the Persian poet Rumi, used these plants to see the true nature of our reality. However, this is a fringe position, with the vast majority of Islamic scholars and researchers speaking against any use of the drug, viewing it as either a potential avenue for jinn possession or because of the negative psychological effects it can have on the body.
What does it mean to you, entity?
That's very important. That's why I was reading Kevin's comment. YouTube, that was off of Facebook. When I make the screen smaller again, y'all be able to see the comments. All right, now, things can mimic your dead loved ones. That's called necromancy. But when it's the Holy Spirit, you got the holy power that houses all souls. You already know everybody. You just don't understand how you do that. How you can have this. That way you need the Great Mother. Well, y'all would say the Holy Spirit. The Ruach So Asha. And then the Hebrews who think they speak the right Hebrew will call that Ruach HaKadosh. I get everybody? All around the world, same song.
You've just met, you hardly understand, who is almost analyzing and studying you as saying, worship me. That's a task, that's an instruction or a command. Worship me. What does that mean to you?
According to the researcher Khalil Siren, who has studied for over a decade the supernatural phenomena associated with DMT, the users of these types of substances expose themselves to extra-dimensional manipulation. His associate, Ahmed Middlepath, states that all of the different avenues that allow humans to access higher dimensions or to see our current dimension in its unfiltered form, such as yoga, ayahuasca, astral projection, and even UFOs.
Hey, y'all. As y'all notice, right? When they show us the pictures of the real reality of what the world look like, that junk look like when you go in a microscope and look at your hot dog and you can see the lines and all the little swirls. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, to explain it to you, like when we step in the spirit world, instead of saying dimensions, we can see the molecules and, you know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like. I'm going to show you what I mean next time they show it.
Encounters are all part of the same phenomena originating from magic and jinn interaction. Doctors who have recorded various entity encounters reported that users quite often meet higher dimensional beings who present themselves in forms that were Egyptian pharaonic or even Sumerian in appearance, with one journalist saying that he met a being that presented itself in the form of the ancient Persian deity Marduk. The point some of these critics make from a religious perspective is that the jinn might change its appearance depending on who encounters it. Different cultures may develop different lores and names to describe these entities.
Whoa.
But ultimately, they are all variations of the same thing.
Up here worshiping robots.
Historians, sociologists, and psychologists have a similar hypothesis. But from a scientific perspective, they state that these beings are essentially Jungian archetypes, stock monsters created by the human mind that you will find across all societies, regardless of history, race, and background. So what scares or amazes us in one culture will do so in all cultures. That said, there have been
The brain power you want is not in a bottle, capsule, or magic lamp. It's in your brain right now. It's about the size of a cashew. It's over 200 million years old. It's a brainwave, but it's dormant.
Commercials trying to align with us.
Said there have been encounters.
You see the top of that pyramid?
Realm that goes
That's
beyond
power holder.
understanding, where users have testified to having been given knowledge of either future events by these entities or current events that they should not have known of themselves. So, if it is not the jinn as the source of this information, then the human mind.
Upright side pyramid mean fire. Upside down pyramid mean water. Your pyramids all around the world are fire. So what are they putting out that the human eye cannot conceive? You didn't watch Transformers? You better.
Maybe way more complex than we can begin to imagine. One theory suggests that there is a deliberate plan to suppress our brain's ability to perform tasks that can be perceived as quote-unquote superhuman, with the global population being fluoridated since birth. Here, fluoride behaves as a type of suppressant, preventing the unlocking of the pineal gland. Mystics from many different cultures worldwide believe that by opening up our pineal glands, we can access the secrets of the universe. It is believed that some ancient Egyptian societies understood this. In the depiction of the Eye of Horus, a symbol meant to represent health and wellness from beyond our world, its design shows an uncanny resemblance to the part of the brain that encompasses the pineal gland, indicating that they knew something about our biology that our scientists are only just learning about now. But are we as a global society ready to access such a superpower? Putting aside the psychological dangers the Egyptian media has reported on, users of DMT have repeatedly spoken of encountering hundreds and even thousands of strange entities in just one trip. We are talking about at least one entire civilization of creatures that might exist just beyond our visual range. And there could be many more, and not all of them may be friendly. The pineal gland may unlock doors to realities beyond our comprehension. But
space look like, like all we doing is zooming in with the lens of our pineal gland, and we see this instead of seeing trees and we see dots and pixels and powers and wavy, swirly, hurricane eye looking like things. But that's the actual reality. So the same thing when we look at a microscope and we start seeing our food and looking at our shirt and it start looking like this. That's what I'm trying to say. Like when we praying and then the Lord revealed to us in our consciousness, well, you see that thing like magic eye. Like, oh, I didn't know that was there. That's what I'm saying.
Tell the risks.
Right, Kevin. I'm with you on that.
Behind that veil are fully
unfolded right in front of us.
Scientists and parapsychologists alike. Is the global population ready to take that risk on
Braca Melody?
What do you think?
Braca Zach
like,
Zamaria.
Subscribe, and let's discuss.
We already have crazy. We don't need no damn psychedelics. This what people thought I was on when I start telling the truth. The drugs you smoking, boy, that fatty is good. That's what they said. Y'all were there with me when they said that. Little do they know, some folks got to do that just to get to the knowledge we get free willingly without getting high. Everybody right here, right now. We get this wisdom from God without even asking. Smoking no dope. Drinking no nothing. No ayahuasca. Or whatever the damn plan is. All right. We got this with the Holy Spirit. And these niggas got to take portal hole serums just to get to where you and I is on a normal. Let that marinate next time you want to put your tongue against something the world cannot receive.
Casual use of a DMT pen. I was always interested in DMT, but quite honestly a little terrified. I have a degree in molecular biology.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to do it.
And I'm not a novice to organic chemistry. I've tried LSD, psilocybin, MDMA, etc. I was in Syracuse with some friends for a guy's trip away, and a friend brought a DMT pen. It didn't come out until like 4 a.m., and we were just staring at the packaging. Then I took a small puff. I heard a woman's voice.
Adam, I'm not going to show you anything until you're in a safe place.
I felt like I recognized her. There was a sense of incredulity on the side of her deity and excitement at my communication.
I have more to show you, but not here. Not like this.
Now, you know the green woman is Tara in the Hindu. Also, the physical manifestation of Abraham's father was a feminine spirit called Tara or Tira. It's a real thing where Tara card come from. She holds the emblem Bimbe, emerald, or green color cosmic of the tree of life, healing to the nations, solar light. You might call it Raphael. Now you know that. Let's continue.
It was as if she had been waiting for me for a long time. Think of not seeing your parents after a long, long break. The recognition, the voice.
Braca Michael Potman.
You're close, but you need to be laying down in a safe space and follow my specific instructions. Take 3 consecutive puffs on the pen. Count out loud with me in front of your friends so they can hear me.
This communication has a tone of, we have done this before, but you don't remember, combined with the irritation of a spouse that isn't paying attention, which was kind of embarrassing because I did so in front of all my friends. I begin to feel this longing, like a sense of missing someone so close that has been gone.
Babe, you are so close.
Hey guys, she's telling me to set up a place where we can communicate that's safe. My friends were just like, dude, who is even talking to you? I just can't place it. I am bouncing up against the wall of being able to remember the greatest love of my life, if only for a moment. And since we haven't seen each other in forever, the sense of reunion is overwhelming to a degree not comprehensible here. Puff, hold, blow. Puff, hold, blow. Puff, hold, blow. I think I may even have taken a 4th hit.
Close your eyes, cross your arms across your chest, lay down and come see me, babe.
I laid back, closed my eyes, and suddenly I saw a keyhole type vertical slit. I flew through it and met the most beautiful green girl. She took me in her arms and flew me to see God, who was a woman, of feminine light energy, the mother of creation. It defies comprehension. I am shaken to the core.
Gotta pause. I don't know. New people, you ain't gonna know. People who've been with me, though, both YouTube and Facebook. Remember when we did the solar eclipse? What am I talking about? Yeah, the full solar eclipse in April. We talked about all the feminine aspects, even the wicked ones. It was Kali, Kali, Karma, Terra, Inanna. Ah, man, I can't think of the African mother name. Well, all of them were there. And it was like, the mother of all life, Sophia. Remember? We went through all the nations. Remember? Somebody write it down so I don't look like no goddamn liar. All right, y'all remember? It wasn't that long ago. And we said, holy mug. We even had Sukamat, the Kemet, or the Egyptian, that, holy crap, this junk been going on, been a women thing. Then I think it was y'all boy Parker put out the joint and said, yo, why a full solar eclipse look just like life when a woman get pregnant and the semen go into the egg, it'll light up just like a solar eclipse, and then it go dark with that big old eye in the middle. Whoa. We around here doing ultrasounds in nature, supernaturally? That's what I'm talking about, man. Your eyeballs can't see everything. We be thinking volcanoes and crap are just exploding when, like I just told you, there's something beaming of a laser light that we can't see, can't hear, can't detect. Like so is smoke coming out of a rock when that is not the case. It's something that's making that happen, but we ain't on the rise with the eye to see it. or at least work off pineal gland eye with the Holy Spirit fire to be able to see these things. That's why Yeshua was able to, I'm showing you these things, because when he said blindness, be gone, that's who he was talking to. He wasn't talking to the person. He said the person ain't got nothing to do with what I'm about to come roll up in here and get these vibrations up out of you. That's how I be talking to my computer. Like, really? Seriously, you gonna try to show out in front of all these people right here? I ain't talking to no damn computer, because it wasn't acting like that before. So what is it doing now? Because y'all are tuned in and y'all are influential and y'all are sharing and you're taking this seriously. And the algorithm of the AI has been built to be accuser of intelligence, of you, the true ones. They don't go after liars and rapists and cartel people. No, they support them. It's just us. That's the problem. And then they try to make us look crazy when they the dum-dums. Plum dumb at that.
As I write this, because of the profound beauty that lies on the other side. And I know, as your friend, how crazy this may sound. It's like my soul became music, the most beautiful, resonant song in the universe. A sense of impending joy. Like, oh my God, did I just win a brand new car and the lottery and the Oscars all at once? Then I broke away from my constituent parts, just a little light left, floating. Then I blended with her. Her frequency and mind merged together at last. The mother love entity. She pulls me into her vibration and her frequency. I first felt as though I was being loved in every cell of my being. Light fills me, warming me, filling up every empty compartment of my being with intimate, personal understanding. Some emotions seem wholly unfamiliar. She is proud of me? This is too much. Satisfaction plus 100, completion plus 100, love plus 100. Everything I wanted my whole life, all at once.
Adam, my sweet child, my love, I'm always with you. I have always been with you and will always be with you. You are me, made of me, inseparable from my love.
Word of God say, I will never leave you nor forsake you. See? Different verbalization expressions is why your book told you to pay attention at a man's frequency, but it said his actions, because they speak louder than words.
My personality was laid bare. No me, just us. One with the formless, light, love, togetherness, wholeness without judgment. The sense of intimacy with the entity is profound to do it in justice. Drugs can't compare to this connection to her. This is the mom men cry out for when dying in battle. Yeah, I'm crying too. I am not. I am this. With her. We are in the front end of our reality. This place is the back end. It's massive, with the entire universe as the background. I shudder now in full view of the universe as best as I can describe. Oh my God, what have I done? I was immediately and profoundly aware of the sum total of all of my actions in this life, and was embarrassed by them mostly. All of my tiny little selfish, self-serving designs. More this, more that, just stuff. Silliness, it seems. The entity itself was neutral on my actions, but I was ashamed by my own behavior. Transparent and laid bare for me to see. I kept apologizing over and over and over again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I doubted you. And for once, I meant it. She told me to
breathe,
which instantly brought me into sensation with my body for a second.
It's okay, my love, my friend being.
Again, I'm using words here. The actual experience is so much more than can be articulated in words at all. Think of it like the electromagnetic spectrum, what we see here. Now what we see with the James Webb telescope. Now make a right turn and imagine that same spectrum of invisible light applies to love itself. We don't have the sensors to experience all that love here, but it is always there.
My love, you have nothing to fear.
She pets my whole soul like one cuttlefish soothing another, holding me, reassuring me, filling every photon of my body with pure love and light in a way I never experienced on earth, cleansing all the bad ideas I've ever had about myself, all lies, mistruths really, all of the misinformation I had inherited from my parents about the nature of life. I had bought into it like a child does. All the attachments that drove the little man machine known as me. This is the light they talk about, and no religion can do it justice. Why are we all fighting over the same thing? I am free.
My sweet, sweet child, I love you beyond what you can comprehend. I will always love you, and I'm here with you always. You come from here. Everyone you know and love is here for eternity in this process. You have nothing to fear, ever. There is no death, only transition. Earth is like a sub-basement in the house of God, where we all reside.
Then the green woman took me to the core of the universe. The background here is galaxies, stars, beyond what I could have imagined in my tiny brain. I saw an enormous column, sort of a golden helix with light beings floating around it. Hallways seemed to be at each intersection of the helix ladders. I burst into tears of the sheer beauty of the core. I want to be here. I want to stay here. I want to be an expression of your love. And I think for once I meant it. I almost felt like she was pitying me, my tiny butterfly wings wanting to help this enormous entity.
My child, you cannot help anyone. They must help themselves. The work is non-transferable. The whole process is evolutionary. It all runs on mistakes, failures, and growth from our choices. Since everyone evolves spiritually at different rates, some souls will be on Earth for an eternity.
The giant recycler, samsara, get it already. The assholes, I thought, exactly. As a former asshole myself, I get it. Accountable, ownership of our faults, and a willingness to be better, do better. I see and feel the most traumatic moments of my life, but from the perspective of the other side, over there in front of the entity, I saw the good I had done, quitting drinking, people I had helped, people I had hurt so much with selfless actions on my part. Imagine playing a game of life where at the end of all of the players you get to see each other's actions. Nothing to hide when it's you keeping score all along. I saw the entire earth as a lit ball of karma. All the actions of people in real time. Colors of different charges, different life states.
You fuck up, you get better. You fail at your unselfish attachments. When all else fails, you seek me. And I am here to renew you.
I can see why the human relationships we have help us carve out a pathway towards enlightenment, understanding our faults. The fights, insecurities, addictions, all opportunities in disguise. Each soul has a chance for an even deeper understanding of their virtues. The life
Thank you, Beethoven.
cycles allow the universe to remain fresh.
Testifying.
The entity now releases me.
Now you need to listen more, talk less, my love.
Time to return, which is hard for me after such a long break. I really do not want to leave this place. Although I know I'm coming back here at death, I am grateful to have the luxury of being able to come here for a brief interval while still on Earth, physically, and for being able to transmit this message. The green girl entity takes me and we spend a few moments bonding, just exchanging energy. I know her. We know each other. I just can't remember her for my own benefit for some reason, and it kills me. I sob openly as a candle floating in space can. She pulls me into her tangled, lovely green serpentine energy.
Babe, it's okay. Know we are together forever, my love.
I never want to be apart from you again. It feels like torture to have to return, but it is also known to me that I have to. Law applies to me too. I am still unpacking what I saw and learned. I got up off the couch, and I was clear as day. I didn't need any more DMT. I didn't want any. She left with a golden, written in stars in the sky. So I've been heeding the message. In music, in conversation, on billboards, listen for me. She was the most stunning green. Between her and the light, I can walk around and sense her now. The green all around me and the sun on my face. I will never be without her. I am in her garden, forever, with you. Apparently this is the first time I've made it this close to the entity in a long time, which is why she was encouraging me. My selfishness has kept me from the sunlight of the entity for a very, very long time. I painfully recognize and acknowledge. This all occurred in front of my 4 friends, who described me as lying, as I had been instructed to lay, with tears streaming down my face. Wow, just wow. It was super odd from an outside perspective, as I look at it now, because I was communicating with a deity live in front of others who couldn't hear her side of the conversation. I love my friends. They created a space for me to cross over and back safely. I think we are still shocked, like we just accidentally did a successful seance or something. Magic is real. I know it sounds crazy, but I couldn't be more certain of anything in my life. We all have nothing to fear. Life is short. Love hard. Learn. Help your fellows. They are made of love too, trying to figure it out as well. Be patient and rejoice, because there is no rich, poor on the other side. No bills to pay. Nothing but love and play and acceptance for all. I have subsequently seen this entity everywhere, more to be revealed, but clearly there was an entity before man. Can't be mad when it's quite literally the blind.
He said something key. Oh no, man, nothing but to love him. On the other side, there ain't no tricks or bills. That's what bills is, tricks. To get you to sign something to make somebody else rich. You want that next sneaker, you making somebody else rich. Sad we don't see it like that, though. But you tell the people, you got to get this sneaker. You ain't nobody. What? Nigga, you already nobody. Trying to tell somebody else to be another nobody. Nah, man, get out of here, bro. You the slave. You listening to the commercial. You listening to someone who don't care nothing about you. You pay to see their concerts. Who the dummy? I had to wake up. I was like, wait a minute. Hell no. I'm gonna make somebody rich. It's gonna be somebody in my family, my friends, you people. I'm not about to make somebody else rich already. Really crazy. Braka, yo, boy. Braka. What's good, big bro? So, yeah, I threw you under the bus. I don't know how long you been here. You know, when I throw you under the bus, it ain't nothing bad. You the one showed me the picture. Well, show not just me, because you ain't selfish. You show everybody what a full solar eclipse is. Ultrasound of pregnation of Mother Earth. Because you know our mother, she don't even need daddy. She just think, bow, boom, bow. All right, just look at the story of Mary. So all of us was begotten. Begotten mean to speak, and then you were there. What does the Bible say? I chose you before the foundations of the universe. All right, so you begotten too. And wherever Christ is, so are you. So if he was begotten, so are you. All right, but not in the flesh though. All right, that's the difference. Okay, we soul spirit, baby. Act like you know what I'm talking about. So I'm BC the Tish Fight, BCI Vet Root. I done kept y'all over an hour, almost 15, over 20 minutes. But it needed to be shown. It needed to be said. That's why I can tell my Heavenly Father and Mother, man, stop the sun or whatever we be doing out there. And they do it. Now, how the liars lying gonna listen to the truth when it's spoken? As your Bible says, nature tell you everything that I have put out here. But see, what the Bible forgot to tell you is, no, it didn't, because it said you reap what you sow, but you don't catch it. You know, when you look in the mirror, you can only get what you are, all right? So that's what up outside, everybody outside, nature, all right? You ain't even got to look up. She's still going to give you what you deserve, all right? Nothing less, nothing more, all right? And so when you really get that, you'll be like, holy smoke, I've been under the power of the thumb of the great mother the whole time. You just was confused in your understanding of things. And I don't want to be like that. When I'm confused, I can get beat. You can sneak up on me. I'm saying I ain't got no armor. Hell no, I'm not about to be like that in no war. No, sir. Oh, man. Braka, thank you. Faith Stone, that's because all of us, you, everybody here, we're on one mind. We're not trying to sound the best. We just breathing. That's all the Most High did, and the Great Mother, they just breathe. And out pops Adam. See how y'all make me, y'all take me somewhere, and I did a whole nother message, man. So, thank you for that. That's a great name, too. Faith. You can only enact what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of y'all names y'all don't even know. Or do you take the time to know? Like, I'm pretty sure she knows she's of the faith. But the other people, like y'all boy Parker. Let me see who else here. There's some Hebrew names. Like Henry Abrego. See that name right there? Bow. Let me bring him up. See? H is breath. E-N is heaven. Foundation. A-B is father. R, again, is the first or the head. All right. Oreo. or Iowa, because ego don't go there. You know what I'm saying? Because how you say? I always say it. Closing. And it got real quiet. You know, I ain't no quiet cat. So I'm BC the Titch Fight, BC the event group. We were talking about people names and how powerful. You know, look at that chart and see what the letters of your name mean. Because you was a number before you was a name. Don't forget that. All right. Nothing can beat y'all. When the Most High is for us, who can be against us? Nobody, baby. Had to sound like that wine and keep sweat real quick. All right, I'm BC the Titch Fight, BCI Event Group. Thank you for coming to HSE-TV Entertainment or Facebook Meta, B.C, the Event Group. Please pass the message, not so much me sharing me, but you speak the message to another ear. You tell them the way that God give it to you. There's more power into that. And that's what the algorithm don't like. It's not that you share the video. It's you're sharing power and giving it to the actual right people who deserve it. The world don't like that, Craig. But you're going to find out if you don't believe these words I speak. Ishe, Shalom, Braka.